Hello dear students, this is me, teacher Mahmoud. Here is your lesson. The lesson is fine and a little grammar. But first of all, let us see a short passage in Spain, lesson 5, titled Office Furniture. Of course, it talks about Dr. Ruder Educational Institute. They just talk about it is office furniture, and there are a lot of vocabulary included over there concerning office furniture, the one of the different rooms of our home. And by the way, here is the rule, so be careful. The lesson for office furniture. Some questions to get answered, maybe before every paragraph. Paragraph 1 there is question, paragraph 2 and there is question B. So make sure that you can do all of them. So please, dear student, read this passage about office furniture carefully, and then in your exercise book answer the question that follow. Q1 is, when was Dr. Ruder 50 years old? That is Q1, and we have that's in A, and in B we have just 5 questions. All of them are direct, and then we have the last question, and after that I would have some questions concerning grammar. So just when we read that passage carefully, we will find that these questions need to be answered. So answer these questions. The questions included in that passage of office furniture, Dr. Ruder Educational Institute. So QA, or question A, you find only one question, and in the passage B, five questions, you will find them. So make sure that you answer them all. And C is more important, but come directly to D. All of them are in book. In D, please write a paragraph about furniture. The question is there is a full question, but in D, please write a paragraph. That's all about office furniture, Dr. Ruder Educational Institute. But in this passage also, we will go to learn a lot about grammar, some grammatical aspects included in that passage. So let's explain them in details. And today, fortunately, it is quite easy. We're going to know a bit about active and passive. So in grammar, when I say active voice and passive voice, what do they mean for us as a student of level 1? I do not think there is anything quite difficult. So what is active or active voice and passive voice in grammar? In order to go back to that passage and practice them a lot. So of course, when I say active voice, it's the subject or the sentence that has a subject in it. Subject is the first word in the sentence of English language. And when I say subject, I mean the doer of the action. For example, experts and they, subject and subject, the first one. So when I say the third active voice is the sentence that have the subject or the subject is mentioned. So we have the subject plus verb plus object, that is the form of general active voice form. So the subject is mentioned, the verb is mentioned, but the object also is mentioned, and the verb, that one we have already explained it, which are quite important to take a lot of time. But let us go ahead to see the passive voice, because we already know what active voice is. Any sentence have the subject, verb, and object. So the subject is mentioned, but what about the active? So 2 examples, A, B, for active voice. Let us go also see additional sentences So C and D also are active because the subject is here, is mentioned. This is the subject, and that's the verb, and then a verb. It's not quite important. So the examples 1A, B, C, D are active voice because the subject is mentioned. So what about the passive voice? Now we would like to know how to change a sentence from active voice to passive voice. To change a sentence from passive voice, we have to start with object. So what is the general rule of changing a sentence from active voice to passive voice is to start with the object. The object was at the middle of the sentence. There was it, the object, and chairs and sofas are object, but they come at the middle of the sentence. So now when we come to change that active voice to passive voice, we have to take the object first. The object comes first, plus helping verb is very important here. And by the way, we should say even the modal verb, but they are not quite important because the passage of today also talks about the simple present and the past simple. That's why it's not quite important to talk about the modal verb. But when I say helping verbs, I mean the verb to be, particularly for the lesson of today. And then I will go to past participle. So any verb in the active voice, I am going to change it to past participle. And any sentence should have the helping verb. So the helping verb should be suitable or suit the time of that, the tense of that original sentence. So as you see, the first two examples were the simple present tense, the second two examples are the past simple tense. So let's hear our examples of how to change the sentences from active to passive. So the books, which were the object, here is the object, are is quite important because the first sentence was present. The books, the object, are is helping verb. Prepared is the past participle of the verb in Bactabuda. So who did prepare them? We don't know because this one is passive because the doer of the sentence is not known. Number two, the institute is visited from time to time. From time to time, that's it. So the institute is object, it was the object, and is the helping verb. Visited is the past participle from time to time, that's the verb. It was founded in 1934. The government founded it in 1934. So it was founded. That it comes first because we said the subject or the object come at the beginning of the sentence. It was, and we say was not is because it is the past. This one and this one are the past, and the first two ones were present. So it was founded in 1934. It is the active passive voice. The last one, which was the past. The ministry presented Anches and Sufas to Dr. Ruda. Anches and Sufas were presented to Dr. Ruda. So we just brought the object first according to our rule, and then were, because it is the past simple tense, the helping verb presented, it is a past participle of the verb present to Dr. Ruda as an object, which is not important. That's all. Just when we go to the other part of the lesson, I will explain more.